This is James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Oh, hey there, listeners. I hope your first week of 2020 was awesome.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm Kyler.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And this is a more civilized podcast. Whoa, how's that, guys?
Was almost. That was adequate.
There was some
really
energy there.
guys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm looking forward to this episode today. Turn off your brains and just have a fun time with this episode.
I don't turn off my brain.
But first,
Not a thing I do.
Ross has
Not
some news.
deliberately, at least.
What kind of news?
Star Wars news, I assume, since this is a Star Wars podcast.
Star
kind of
Wars
news,
newsy news, Kyler.
The newsiest ever.
The newsiest Star Wars newsy news.
It's my new goal to have Kyler say it willingly.
I could
at
tell
some
that's
point.
what you were
That
going for.
will
That's why I waited too.
never happen.
Okay.
Unless you concede and we actually lean into this real hard and we get some CNN news sounds going into this and we do it right.
I'm going to save that clip just so that when we finally get him to say it at some point down the road, I can just, throw it in his face.
Nope.
Anyway,
Never
on
happened.
to the news. So, because The Rise of Skywalker is now out and we are in the post-Rise of Skywalker world, there's not
everyone.
There's not quite a lot going on yet. We have a couple things down the line, but we do have some interesting anecdotes for things that are happening. First off is, at least the one that surprises me the least, is a potential sequel for Jedi Fallen Order. That's the game that released here, what was it, 2 months ago now? It was a month before the movie came out.
And Ross has
Whatever
a
it
few
was.
streams of him playing
I
that.
do, up on our YouTube channel. Because it was taking so long for me to actually find the time to stream, I only did the first half streamed, but...
One of those episodes should have me in it harassing Ross and telling fun stories.
It does,
So
yeah, it was a good one.
you can go listen to that.
Indeed. Which, by the way, the ending sequence of that game is fantastic.
Is it a cutscene?
A little bit of both.
Great. I'll watch it on YouTube.
Cutscene and gameplay. But it was a ton of fun to play. Not really surprising. I mean, a lot of people were trying to avoid the spoiler, but I mean, when you're around Inquisitors, a certain character does tend to show up.
Grand Inquisitor or Vader?
Vader.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you thought Rogue One was bad for him being scary? It was whoa cool. Anyway. So yeah, they're definitely going to do a sequel to that. It was the ending of the game was set up to lightly
Does
allow
your
for
character
that.
die?
No,
Uh,
nope. Your character does not die. I don't even think. Did his mentor die? I don't remember if she did or not. I don't believe so.
I've seen a spoiler of the
Yeah.
last scene is literally just them sitting in the ship together or something.
Probably.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it was
remember
her
now.
and the pilot and the mentor, and yeah, they're all still.
And the other chick you picked up from Dathomir, who they didn't really do a lot with, who they would probably do more in the future.
Yeah.
But
the bizarrely not Night Sister, yeah, that one.
not Night Sister.
good Ventress?
No, it's just she doesn't look like they've softened the features compared to any other Night Sisters we've seen. They've lightened the skin slightly, made it more fleshy tones instead of the usual grayer stuff. They've given her hair that's unlike anything we've ever seen on a Night Sister before. It's very clear when they were making this that it's how can we take a Night Sister and just
Make her more
make her
palatable?
sexy?
Normalizer.
Make her like Ventress?
Yep.
Ew.
It's not the way to do that. Anyway,
You're right. Ventress is sexy the way she is.
expect to see that in the future. It'll be several years, because I'm sure they were waiting to see how this was received before they even started development, real serious development on the next one. But that'll probably be Respawn's next project. Anyway, yeah, it'll be coming. Anyway, the next news, the biggest, most shocking news ever, is that Disney Plus users have been found to be watching mostly classic Disney movies and Star Wars stuff. So that should surprise absolutely nobody. They have
Shocked.
a chart.
I'm actually surprised that Marvel's not getting a better showing there, but
as far as the actual chunks go on this graph that they do have, I think, the second largest chunk, but a lot of these other chunks are divided against other Disney properties. So from smallest to largest, of the total percent of people watching Disney Plus, 2% are watching Disney originals, which I don't know, other than like, I guess if you want to call The Mandalorian a Disney original, that's good. But I don't think they are. They're probably classifying it under Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, for sure they are.
Yeah. The Simpsons gets 5% of the viewership. Disney Channel, just regular Disney Channel stuff, gets 9%. Pixar has 14.
At least 2 of that 9% is from my wife alone. She's been watching Lizzie McGuire and Even Stevens and basically any other Disney Channel original movie / series she can find.
Yeah. After that, then we have Marvel. All of Marvel is lumped together with 15%. I guess they don't have any of the TV shows on there, do they? So it's just the movies.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Star Wars on its own has 21%.
Wait, don't they have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on there?
I don't think so.
I haven't looked at anything besides, like...
Oh, they have the Inhumans little TV miniseries that they did that didn't really gain any traction. But I don't think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is currently on Netflix still.
Yeah, I haven't seen it advertised.
Because I've just watched The Mandalorian and then an assortment of 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
So...
Then continuing on to finish off our chart, there was National Geographic stuff with 3%.
Oh, that's true. I did watch 2 shark documentaries from National Geographic.
I watched a lot of Muppets.
And Disney Classics with 22%. So
no
Disney,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no.
Okay.
Yeah. Direct Disney stuff takes up 2/3 of that pie. Star Wars takes up a quarter on its own, then everything else gets the rest of it, basically. But, and
Fight for the scraps, peasants.
Yeah. There have been some memes going around about how now that The Mandalorian's done, everyone's canceling Disney Plus, but I have not found that to be the case.
Yeah, we haven't had any
canceled.
official numbers or anything from Disney.
Which, honestly, I think would be foolish. I mean, for the price, you get a ton of stuff that's actually good to watch. Like,
I mean, it depends on how much you're actually going to watch.
Well, that's true.
Like, I've been paying for it, I got on there and I was like, oh man, there's a ton of stuff I want to watch on here. I got Muppets, I can watch Rebels and stuff now because I don't have those on DVD and everything. And I did get through the first season of Rebels, but it's just like, I ain't got no time. Like, I'll keep it because my boys watch it a bit.
See, and I look at it like this, like, it's the same amount of time you would be watching Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to sit down and watch something, whether that was Netflix or now it's Disney Plus, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, but that's the thing is, I'm just saying I'm not keeping up with what I'm watching anyway.
Right.
So.
But if you were the kind of person who was going to be devoting time to this anyway, then
yeah, it just varies.
Yeah.
That and my prediction is that you know how there's like a dozen streaming services that are coming out here in the near future? Like all the different networks are doing their own. I'm betting there isn't going to be enough market to go around. And so a lot of those smaller ones that haven't come out yet aren't going to survive. So a lot of those things
they're
will
either
start.
not going to survive or they're going to bundle together.
Yes.
They're going to be back where we were with cable bundles.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering is if a lot of these die, they might go to Netflix or Disney Plus.
Well, because we already are seeing that with Disney Plus, where you can get Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN bundled.
Because there's a lot of crossover there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, so I think your biggest ones are Disney and Netflix. A lot of the things will probably go there, so you'll probably get more bang for your buck in the future.
Hulu and Amazon are still doing a pretty decent showing.
Amazon is, well, but Hulu is part of the Disney.
Yeah.
Thing,
and HBO on its own is doing a pretty decent showing.
That's true. Yeah, again, it's of the ones that are yet to come out, like the NBC. Although I think that one's going to be free, which is interesting.
For now.
Yeah.
Hulu was free when it started.
Yeah. Yeah. So that war is going to get interesting later, I'm sure. But anyway.
And then it was free with ads. And then it was ad free with a subscription. Now it's just like regular TV.
Yes. Yeah. And finally, for our newsy news, speaking of programming that we will find on
that reminds
Disney
me,
Plus.
Quick story of the best commercial I have ever seen in my life, and it's the best commercial I'm sure I will ever see in my life.
Wow.
It was a 3-second commercial from UPS that just said, "Look, we know you want to get back to what you're watching. Go."
That's brilliant.
The ad was 3 seconds long, and it was literally that one sentence. It's like, "Look, we're sorry for interrupting you. We know you want to get back to your show. Just go."
The best part about that is they would have had to pay for a significant chunk of time and then just said, nope, just air this.
Yep.
Like, that's delightful.
And I was like, UPS, loyal forever.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago when I saw that commercial. Still, best commercial I have ever or will ever see.
Yeah,
That is a
you
good
know
one.
what? I thought you might be overselling that, but no,
It's a commercial that gives you
I didn't
exactly
even-
what you want,
I
which
didn't
is your
even
show
see
back.
it, and I'm tempted to give UPS more of my money. So
And finally, a little bit of news on Clone Wars, the final season coming out. Just that Kathleen Kennedy is crediting the fans for bringing the series back. She said in a interview with LA Times, "It does matter what they say and what they care about. All of those things play a role in our decision making." Just save it for later,
Sorry,
Chris.
I'm
Just stop. And so she's attributing just the fan love for these series in bringing it back.
And also Dave Filoni, too, is always
Yeah.
pushed for more of that. So I was happy to see them listen in a good direction, because they had a lot of really interesting, good stories planned for the Clone Wars that never got to see the light of day. And so this was mostly just can we please just pull back the curtain and get the spotlight on these, So and knowing what the stories are, 2 of the 3 plot lines are already on YouTube. You can watch the unfinished.
You can watch the animatics, yeah.
And they're good stories. And so I'm really happy. I'm hoping, because there were more stories that were on YouTube that didn't that are not going to be in season 7. So I'm hoping that if, in air quotes, it really means when season 7 is a runaway success, that they'll be like, okay, go ahead and do another 12 episode season 8 and finish the rest of those stories.
I wonder if that would depend on where they leave it, because they might actually butt up against episode 3 now.
Well, no, but they're getting there. And that's the thing is, so one of these story arcs that's on YouTube that's not in episode 7 is the Republic ends up accidentally stumbling upon a separatist shipment of giant kyber crystals. And they're like, what in the world? And they start shooting at it, but then the kyber crystal reflects the energy back out more powerfully, because that's how they work. And they're like, geez, this is really dangerous. What in the world could the separatists be doing with kyber crystals this big? We, of course, know it's the Death Star.
Yeah.
And so, but that was a really interesting 3 episodes as the Republic starts to butt up against these secret separatist plans. And you, of course, as the audience, and you're like, oh, no, oh, come on, just discover it, But, of course, they can't. And so, but it's a really cool story arc that's not going to be in episode 7 or season 7.
Right.
So I'm going, give us an episode or season 8 where we can get 3 more storylines. Because they had some interesting episodes, too, with Darth Maul. That is more with Darth Maul on Mandalore, which we may see some of that.
Getting.
But there were some other things, too, like Darth Maul's space station that we see in Rebels in, season 2, I think. So Chris hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't gotten there.
They're like, oh, yeah, we had a story plan for that in Clone Wars, but we never got there. But we're counting it as if it happened. So I'm like, oh, let's...
Because I'm wondering if they, because they're probably not putting all their eggs in that basket yet, and so they're giving us this season, but I wonder if they'll do those other story arcs separately.
Well, but some of the other story arcs as well were that Filoni had said was he wanted to take them into episode 3, watch Order 66 play out in the Clone Wars, and then watch the clones deal with the aftermath of killing their leaders and their friends.
That would be
that
interesting.
Some of the
that
clones,
would definitely be a very interesting.
Yeah, that some of the clones were just like Commander Fox, where they're like, well, that was the Order and the Jedi were traitors, so there it is. But other ones were like, wait a minute. Yeah, I pulled the trigger, but why? that doesn't make any sense. Because they're all individuals, they did it, but their reactions to it are really different.
Yeah.
And so, and he's like, I wanted to explore that.
In that show,
yes.
I would love to see
I know, right? So I'm like, oh, come on, season 8. Let's make season 6 or 7 a huge success. Give us that in episode or season 8.
If that were what was coming out, I would book it through everything that's left just so I could be ready for that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, really awesome. That was all from a Star Wars Celebration panel a couple years ago where he was like, let's talk about Clone Wars because we're never going to see any more of that. So here's some of the stories.
See, and there was a Boba Fett animation, an unfinished animation.
Where Cad Bane versus Boba Fett.
Yeah.
We were going to get that, which we're not getting in season 7.
Yeah.
So there's plenty enough, and they had a bunch of the voice acting recorded for season 8 as well. So, or for the second half of season 7, which could now be season 8.
Yeah.
So, because basically Filoni, and again, I'm trying to remember from like 3 or 4 years ago, but Filoni said that of season 7 for Clone Wars, they had, because it got canceled in season 5, but then Disney said, okay, you can finish out season 6 as a short thing, because the first half of season 6 was already done. It was ready to, they just needed to push the button that said publish, and they were good to go.
Yeah.
But then they had the second half of season 6, which is now going to be season 7.
Yeah.
And then they had the first half of season 6, which would now be season 8, already the voice acting recorded. They just needed to work on animation.
Huh.
And so it's like, oh, we're halfway there already. Come on, Disney. Give us those stories.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
Oh, man, so good. Sorry.
And I think it would be good to also fill in some of these gaps that we're now getting.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, they haven't we know they're going to announce more movies, but they haven't done that yet as of this recording, which the rumors are that they're going to be doing it sometime this month.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, no, that's that. Well, and I don't know if they're from any reputable source, but I've just seen it several places. But
that makes sense to me. Is not wanting to leave people unaware of what's coming for too long. Just like, okay,
especially
we built
after,
up a huge head of steam for Rise of Skywalker, so let's still strike while people are still talking about Star Wars to
and
let
after
them know what's coming.
After the shakeup of the previous plan, right, and how all that was just kind of gone,
Yeah.
you kind of want to fill people in on what the readjusted plans are.
That kind of leads into another unfounded rumor that I saw only today.
Mm-hmm.
And the people claiming it claim to have pretty legit sources that have given them good information in the past.
Yeah.
Even things that they didn't report because they didn't feel like it was true, and then it turned out to be true. So they're like, we're going to kind of go out on a limb here and say that our sources are... They have 2 sources, apparently, in Disney that have independently said the same thing. So they're like, we're going to go out and say this. I'll try to find a link or something to the YouTube video so we can credit them properly. But anyway... The rumor is that there's going to be a Rebels Part 2 that follows Ahsoka and Sabine trying to find Ezra, but that could also lead to the destruction of Mandalore that is teased and talked about in Mandalorian.
And I'm wondering if some of that starts in Clone Wars.
Well,
with what we've seen of
Mandalore's
Clone
always
Wars.
been a little bit independent, but think about season 4 of Rebels. Sabine is literally starting a rebellion on Mandalore against the Empire.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right, and that does come.
And she gives the darksaber to Bo-Katan and
that.
is like, "You go lead our people for independence."
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that didn't go
And
well.
between that point and Mandalorian, we get a thing called the Night of 1,000 Tears and the destruction of Mandalore. So there's a story I'd like to see. And so I'm like, ooh, there could be like a Rebels season 2, Ahsoka going to track down Ezra, and then like Sabine helping and losing the fight for Mandalore. And we do know that Dave Filoni loves Mandalorians.
What?
Loves. I know. Shocking, we're breaking this story now. Dave Filoni loves Mandalorians.
And
so that could be...
Even though it is just an early preliminary rumor, I find it easy to believe because, again... like I've been talking about for a while, Filoni needs another project here soon. Yes, he is producing on
that was part of the rumor is
but
that it could even be coming out later this year, that they would do a short first season. Because Filoni only helped direct a couple episodes of Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the executive producer on a lot of it because he's in charge of a lot of things over
executive producer is far lighter a load than producer.
Right. And so he could be just working on something and they're maybe going to announce it later this year is the rumor.
I wouldn't be surprised in an announcement, but as far as it actually releasing this year, I think that would be tough.
think that part of the rumor is probably a little bit silly.
Yeah.
I think maybe next year.
Because, I mean, think of how long it's been since Star Wars Celebration and what they had at Celebration for this season of Clone Wars and them trying to get that finished. So,
well, and with Star Wars Celebration being so late in the year, where it's in August, I don't know, I think that would be too late for them to be like, I know it's, the middle of August, but in a month and a half, have a whole new season of Clone Wars that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could see them being like, hey, by the way, next fall, or not Clone Wars, sorry, Rebels, I could see them being like, next fall, Rebels 2.0, whatever they want to call it.
Because I think they're definitely looking for things to fill in those gaps, especially with their reception on TV
I think so
far.
too. Like, their TV reception has been a lot better than the movies have been. I mean, the TV stuff has not been nearly
nearly as divisive. Yeah.
And so for them to be like, well, we've got 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is, till the next movie comes out, Mandalorian, if we can if Mandalorian comes out in the fall, if we can get something that comes out in February, like Clone Wars every year, then it's every couple of months we'll release this.
Well, and the Kenobi thing was supposed to be soon. Also, the Cassian thing was supposed to be soon.
So I think that will be the route they go, is here, have a bunch of kind of small things that we can give you semi-regularly between movies, which I'm fine with. It gives us something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, if we didn't have any new content till like 2022 or 23, we might actually start hitting the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
here.
that barrel will be pretty thin.
I don't know.
Then.
We haven't come even close yet.
It's true.
We've done, one episode discussing a Clone
I was
Wars
looking at our planned episodes. We still have a year's worth, like almost a full year's worth of material.
Oh, and that's not even just counting, like, hey, let's discuss this arc of this TV show and this arc of this. And
so
and
never fear, listeners. You have years and years.
We will still be here.
And that's, we haven't even thought about
ears.
Legend stuff yet, which we said that we're going to talk about,
yeah.
which we can do a lot of
Still
stuff in. But
I don't know if I want to dive back in there.
I know.
maybe that'll be only.
It's a dark corner of the galaxy.
Anyway,
There was a lot of good stuff in there, but there was even more less
Bad
good
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
and that's your newsy news.
Newsiest Star Wars news
Alrighty.
of the news.
Let's get into this episode.
Every time I say it now, I think of the memes that come up on the Facebook
I know, right?
page.
They've been so good.
They've been amazing. Anyway,
Tanner, I hate you. I'm just saying. Although, hey, I got to hang out with Tanner for a little bit.
did you?
So Steven and I played a game of Legion, and he was like, "Hey, so Tanner was wondering like if it's okay if he can come and like watch us play, because he kind of wants to meet you and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, totally fine." So anyway, it was good to meet him. It's good to hang out. He gave me an interesting idea for an episode that I was like, I think we could roll it into this other episode we had planned. So anyway, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to do just a fun, turn off your brain and just laugh with us kind of episode. No critical thinking required. We wanted to do something lighthearted to help get you through this terrible winter weather and yucky time of the year.
This is my favorite kind of weather.
Ugh, it's the worst.
I mean, I like heavy downpour, super gray drizzles slightly better than this. But this is good too.
Ugh, nah. So today, you may remember that several weeks ago at this point, this was like middle of December, beginning of December, something like that, we posted a thing that was
This
like,
is
hey,
before it happened.
yeah, it feels like a year ago.
It does.
We asked for your best like Star Wars
It
would
was
you
last year.
rathers. It's true. We asked for your best Star Wars would you rathers. So we're going to go through them today.
Sweet.
I'm going to ask them primarily of you two. If I think of something funny to say, I'll
Cool.
chime in. So you two ready?
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't seen these, have you?
Nope.
Ross,
No.
are you looking?
I have
Okay,
not
good.
looked. I've
Excellent.
kept my eyeballs away from that.
So, would you guys rather see a new trilogy based in the Old Republic era or a new trilogy based in the post-Skywalker era? So after Episode 9 or before Episode 1? What are we thinking?
I would rather see Old Republic, personally.
See, and I'd rather see post episode 9.
I'd rather do Old Republic.
Yeah. What's your reasoning?
Totally biased medieval historian. I want to see
yeah.
a medieval Star Wars.
Oh,
Like I
that'd be
want to see like
interesting, yeah.
old school, like kind of like the Knights of Ren, where it was more primitive looking weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would be really interesting, and maybe like castles and but like futuristic castles. I don't know how they do it, but
Could be interesting.
I think a medieval Star Wars would be really interesting. So
fair.
that's it.
For me, it's just this thing of, I feel like the Old Republic, because, I mean, it depends on how far back you go and everything, and how many liberties they let you take because you went so far back. But the Old Republic basically gives you a solid structure of, we know the basics of where we're at. We know that we got to have the Old Republic. We've got the Jedi. If we go far back enough, we can have the Sith too. And you know what? It gives you a structure that everybody already knows to work with. Whereas anything, I think so, the sequel trilogy has made it clear that anything after the originals will earn, and anything too far after the originals, especially if it's playing around with anything that touches on the Skywalkers at all, is going to be is just going to earn all sorts of ire from all sorts of pissy people. And
Yeah.
And when I want it to be afterwards, I don't necessarily want it to be anything to do with the Skywalkers.
yeah, me neither. But as soon as you start playing with that, people are going to want to know, what's happening now? What's happening with Skywalkers now? What's happening? That was and
People will want to know who the great granddaughter of Rey Palpatine is.
And that's the thing that makes it tricky right now is that the Legends canon, that's what it was. It was, there were Skywalkers and that's it. That's all the entire galaxy is about from here on out. That and Palpatine coming back to life ad nauseum over and over and over again. And that's what everything was based around was. And yeah, they'd have stories that weren't necessarily Skywalker centric, but they still touched on, well, this is where we are in relation to that. Whereas the sequel trilogy has put us in a place where we are in a future that is functionally without Skywalkers, aside from one girl who took that name on her because it's stupid. But it's like all the Skywalkers are dead.
Yeah.
Ben Solo is dead, so the Solo line and Organa line has ended. Luke never had children, so there is just Rey. And yeah, I guess she can get married, and so we can do all this again if we want to be really stupid about it, or we could just go, okay. And that was that. Yeah. She was the last Skywalker or something, and then we just have a bunch of... That could provide some interesting ways to go. I don't really have faith in them at the moment that they would be that intelligent, but...
Okay.
I worry that... Yeah, I just worry that inevitably if we go into the future, people are going to be like, well, but wait. Come on. We know that there are still Calrissians around, so... Either
the man littered the galaxy with his seed.
So either, give us those, give us Rey's kids so that we can still have as much as possible of all that.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
Who would you... This is a good one. Who would you rather see stand trial for crimes against the New Republic if they had lived? Thrawn or Vader?
Vader.
I mean, it would have to be Vader.
Vader, I think, deserves it more, but I think I'd rather see Thrawn because I think he would probably get away with it.
He'd probably talk his way out of it.
Yeah. Alrighty. This one is cool. Alright. Would you rather command an ISD in battle, an Imperial Star Destroyer, or a Mon Cal cruiser?
Star Destroyer.
Ross will say Mon Cal. Filthy rebel scum.
Say the first part again, I'm sorry.
Would you rather command an ISD, an Imperial Star Destroyer, or a Mon Cal in battle?
No, it's obviously a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's more iconic. It's like the Mon Cals are cool and all, they're nice, but that Star Destroyer is... It is classic for a reason.
But even just the fact, it's just more effective.
That
all
too.
the Mon Cal stuff was still just, it's all cobbled together.
You play Rebels in Armada.
He still likes to... He
all
would
right, we
be
need rebel
commanding in an ISD as a good guy.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
A Rebel stolen ISD. We'd paint a big old Rebel Phoenix on the side.
It's just a target.
That kind of...
Kind of is, actually.
Yeah.
All right. This one is more for me, but I suppose Ross and Chris could answer as well. Would you rather go all in on Armada or Legion?
Personally, I'd go for Armada, yeah.
Yeah, Armada.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As the person who's gone all in on both, I'd rather go all in on Armada. It's a better game.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm going to do turn-based, like, map combat like that, I would rather have a full battle with ships and everything. That's more engaging to me than...
And the mechanics, I feel like, fit better with a ship-type setting.
Exactly, yeah.
Because, the one Legion game that I've watched, they have some interesting ideas for how things work, but it's still just like... I like to envision that these are, like, real things happening.
Yeah.
And so, like...
No, Legion does a good job with it, but ground battles were never my favorite.
As far as
the capital ship battles were, so Armada is
you had some things in Legion that was like all of your guys. I don't know if they got a bonus or whatever it was. Well, it was how the squads moved, right? They all had to be touching the base of the squad leader.
No, just within a certain radius of the squad leader.
Either way, it was the way that they were being used that one time. There wasn't really any good cover being taken or stuff like that. Where it just feels like it feels like it makes more sense to me for in a ship setting. But those sorts of mechanics.
Yeah, I like the mechanic because they are a little bit different between the two games, but I like Armada better. I think it's a better balanced game. It's extremely well balanced, and although Legion and X-Wing both do it well at sort of capturing the feel for what they're going for. Like X-Wing does a good job at feeling like that kind of wild dogfighting. Legion does feel like a good ground battle, but boy, the way Armada captures capital ship combat in the Star Wars movies, they nail it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. This one's a tough one. Would you rather endure 3 more movies, Star Wars movies, with Hayden Christensen playing a leading role, or never have another Star Wars movie made again?
Hayden.
Yeah. More Star Wars.
Yeah,
Always
Star
more
Wars,
Star Wars.
for sure.
Like, I mean, as much as generally speaking, I am in favor of like, no, close the story, stop. I do want stories to end in Star Wars and then move on to new stories in Star
Yes.
Wars. Like, I love the
I agree.
universe, and
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah.
to see more things done with it. So, and honestly, if you got Hayden away from George, he might do all right.
All right.
Well,
The dude, he's got some bad movies without George, but he's
Yeah.
also got some pretty solid ones without George.
Yep.
Like, you get the right director with Hayden Christensen, he won't be too bad.
I think I've only ever seen him in, was it Jumper?
Jumper.
Yeah,
I-
Jumper. Oh, yeah,
teleport.
Jumper's atrocious.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Jumper. I thought it was an interesting idea for a movie.
The
The
idea
basic
was,
idea of
Yeah.
it is, but
but Hayden himself, it just wasn't.
Hayden is not great, and even Samuel L. Jackson can't save that villain. Like, it's too much of a cliche where I'm just like, you have never actually dealt with a religious person at all. I'm not talking just religious zealots. I'm like religion in general. You have no idea how this works, do you? Like, you're just you literally have no idea how anyone outside your own sphere thinks or operates, do you? But no, like Broken Glass, I think, was one where he played Stephen Glass, was a New York Times reporter who straight up fabricated like 9 or 10 stories and was like a Pulitzer Prize winner or something. Not
Wow.
Pulitzer, but like he was an award-winning for these articles. Like, and then it all came crumbling down when the people figured out that wait a minute, none of this is true. He's been making this up for years, and he played Glass in that, and was apparently very good. I've only seen clips of it, but yeah, he's pretty solid.
All right. So in my request, I'm like, don't just give us boring, whatever. Like, they can be gross, they can be funny, sexy, whatever.
I've been surprised
you know.
at how little grossness there's been
Yeah.
so far.
Well, get ready.
All right.
So the Thera Siren, that's the space sea cows.
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather drink
ones that
Thera
look
Siren milk straight from the teat, or a day-old serving of portion bread?
What's portion bread?
That's
The one
that's
quarter
raised.
portion.
Oh, the
quarter
raised. Oh.
portion.
Yeah. Well, are we talking the bread that rises up? Because that's different stuff from the portions.
But it says portion bread, so I'm assuming it's the stuff that's
the
rising.
bread that they,
Yeah.
and which I hear is pretty gross.
Yes.
I would do the bread. I would eat the bread.
I think I would
before.
also do the bread.
I go for the milk. It's fresh. Well, it looked like it was kind of tart, but
I feel like pasteurization is kind of necessary. I know Luke did it fine, but he
Nah.
probably had years to.
He's got the force
Acclimatize.
heal himself from whatever sickness he gets.
Not at that point.
How do you know?
He was still in this cutoff phase at that point.
Oh, that's
maybe.
true.
Well,
Okay.
that, and I've got some significant questions about when force healing became a thing at all, because that obviously can't be something they were teaching in the Old Republic times. Otherwise, Obi-Wan really shirked on among others.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
The number of places where that could have come in handy, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Would you rather be frozen in carbonite for a week or sleep a night in a tauntaun?
Carbonite.
Yeah, I'd be really good. Like, I can imagine what being inside a tauntaun was like. I have no idea what being frozen in carbonite would be like. I'd
I
like
think
to
it would be
see.
like just sleeping. I mean,
You'd
you've
think
got
so,
carbonite
yeah,
or-
but-
Probably not even sleeping. Probably more like anesthesia. I would think.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I've never been put under.
I have.
really?
Yeah, they tried
Yeah.
once. It didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
gave me a
I'm-
double dose. It still. I
So
still didn't go
you'd
under.
wake up with the
The sickness.
carbonation sickness.
Yeah.
You'd be blind for a little bit, but it seems
Carbonation.
like...
I've never
sickness.
been.
Or, yeah.
Blind. I've never been blind either. So that
What do they call it?
Just
Hibernation.
hibernation
That's
sickness.
it. Yeah.
Carbonation sickness is what we get all the time anyway. But
Yeah. You drink your Coke too fast, your
That's
nose
right.
gets all fizzy.
yes, there you go.
Here's another gross one. You ready?
Yay!
Different kind of gross, though. Would you rather unknowingly give your twin sister a full-on open-mouth tongue kiss and think about her romantically for a month, or be Jabba's slave for a week and let him lick you while you wear a gold bikini, but you get to kill him later?
Oh yeah, kill him later. Then. Yeah, I'll go for that.
Yeah, the kill him later.
But you get tongued
clinches it.
down by a hut.
I'd rather be tongued down by a hut than my sister.
Yeah,
No offense to my sisters,
yeah. I am of a similar
especially
mind.
like if it wasn't coming with the get to kill him afterwards. Maybe
Yeah.
not, but...
Because I was debating up
Also,
until...
let's point out that Luke had romantic ideas about his sister for longer than a month.
I know. Yeah. Wow. Shoot. If only we did quotes
Do I get
for
to,
our
and
episode,
did it
like
specifically
bacon sale,
say that you're
would be the
wearing a
one.
metal bikini?
Yeah, that you're wearing
Sweet,
a gold
I get
bikini.
to wear a bikini. Awesome. That'd be fun.
Because then I get plausible deniability when people ask me about it later.
I feel like Jabba would get me in that and then go, never mind, let's
Yeah.
not do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put you in furs.
Yeah, I'm already pretty furry. That's
On
the thing.
Tatooine.
That's why the bikini would be unpleasant.
So,
Thanks for that visual, Chris.
You're welcome.
would you rather be the actor inside R2 or 3PO?
3PO.
So, it's not that you get to be Anthony Daniels or Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
It's put you in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine, like, if you're going to be R2, then you are a little person.
Appropriate size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If I'm appropriate size,
I would be R2.
I mean, I'd want to be R2 more than I would want to be 3PO, but that does not. I was saying, between the two of them, if it wasn't appropriate sized, I'm like, man, I'm not going to fit in either of those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd take 3PO first. But
I think I'd take 3PO.
I think so. I think at least I'd be able to move around somewhat instead of being scrunched up like that. That does not look comfy. Now, if we can size it, as long as we're sizing R2 up or me down, if we could just size up further so that it's be like, yeah, I got a comfy easy chair in here, then I'd go for R2.
You got the triple XL
Yeah.
Astromech model.
Just be sitting there with levers on either side.
At that point, you're like a miniature walker.
Exactly.
Okay. Would you rather spend a week with Jar Jar Binks or a day with a pissed off Kylo Ren?
Yeah, I'd go for Jar Jar. Survivability there is significantly...
I think this assumes that you would have survived, though.
Survive Jar Jar? I think I could
Survive
survive Jar Jar.
Kylo.
Well, it doesn't say, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, like I think,
Like, if I'm guaranteed survival, probably Kylo, just because it's shorter, and
But yeah, as soon as that 24 hours hit,
conversation would definitely be more stimulating.
yeah.
But,
yeah.
I think if survival is guaranteed, I would go Kylo. If not, Jar Jar.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, or is it like you're locked in a room with Jar Jar for a week and you're locked in a room with Kylo Ren for a week and
Yeah,
he's
for
pissed,
sure, Jar Jar.
You know, yeah.
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 Because then you'll only be in the room for about a minute with Kylo.
Yes. Quite like
So I think
to
you'd
be
have to,
fair,
yeah.
I don't think we ever saw him kill anyone in his angry rages. As opposed to Vader, who slaughtered people left and right.
True.
Choked them out. So, I don't know. Even when Kylo had someone to hand, he didn't necessarily do that.
Oh, I love our listeners and their questions. Oh, by the way, all of these questions, 100% from the listeners. We didn't come up with any of these questions. So props to all of you who submitted. Would you rather smell Darth Vader's helmet after a full strenuous day of work or teenage Anakin Skywalker's boots?
Vader's helmet, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Wonder what
like-
that's.
I feel
it's
like-
probably pretty well powdered and everything. I feel like. it
I
would
feel
be
like
fine.
there would be like a faint electrical burn smell.
Yeah. Ozone.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's got to try and actually keep him clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's got to be
like-
something in the suit to kind of.
Because I mean, he's got like exposed sores and
Yeah.
stuff on his
Yeah.
head. Like, yeah, that's especially when they put the mask on. That's he was entirely exposed wounds. Like, that seems logical that that's keeping things relatively clean. It would probably smell like ozone and sanitizer.
Yeah.
I would pick Vader's helmet just for the bragging rights. To be like, hey, I've
smelled
sniffed Vader's helmet. The inside of his
bragging
helmet, you know? Like, how many other people in the galaxy can say that?
That's true.
That's a good question.
One, Vader.
Well, I mean, that's assuming Luke didn't take a sniff at some point.
Or Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
After it's burned.
Yeah.
Take it in, Dad.
Oak.
Yeah.
Wood smoke.
Let's see.
Cheese puffs.
Would you rather be a blurg rancher or a moisture farmer?
Moisture farmer.
I think I'd go blurg rancher. It seems
feel
like it'd be more exciting.
I feel like
I don't
Blurgs
know
would
if
be a
I
little
wanted
bit
to be more
bitey.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, on the one hand, I don't know if I want it to be exciting, but on the other hand, I don't know if I want it to be as boring either.
It's true.
See, and I feel like if you got enough droids and you got enough quality parts, you'd have a little bit more downtime than you would ranching
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
Blurgs.
If I'm a well-off moisture farmer, I'd go for that. Yeah.
Even if you learn the good tricks to keep things running, even on with spit and duct tape.
Yeah.
But
Would you guys rather be a Wookiee or an Ewok?
Woogie.
Wookie.
Yeah, I think probably Wookiee.
Yeah, that's no brainer.
Well,
Much as I love the Ewoks.
what era? I mean, is this like the Wookiee slavery era?
I think it's
No,
just in
it's just
general.
like
you're here
in
in this
general.
world, but now you're one of those.
But now you're Wookiee.
Yeah.
I would totally be a Wookiee in that
Yeah,
case.
absolutely.
All right.
Take it from a tall person. Being tall is always better than being short.
Yep, that is true. Yeah. Yeah. Not that Ross is short, but
No, none of us are short. We're
yeah.
Well,
all fairly tall.
I am
short.
the
You are
shortest
the
of
shortest
the three of us.
of the three of us, but you're not short.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So.
no, by no means.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've had enough discussions with very
Yeah.
short friends where it's just like, yeah, it is a lot better.
I've been
The
asked to buy
advantages
my
are
wife
significantly greater.
enough times to come and get something. She'll be like, Kyler, I need your height. And I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
I know.
I've
And I
accepted
would
that my
never
lot in
want
life.
to be that. Yeah. So, okay. This is a great question, by the way. Listen carefully. It's a bit long, but it's a good question. Would you rather be a highly skilled Mandalorian who never removed his helmet, or a mediocre Jedi who can never get married? Assuming that while Mandalorians can marry, they can't remove their helmets unless alone, even in front of their spouses.
Yeah, I have wondered how that works.
Yeah.
That seems an odd choice, but
Those helmets got to be very comfortable if they're going to wear them to bed.
You assume Mandalorians sleep, Ross.
Like Chuck
He doesn't
Norris.
sleep,
Fair.
he waits.
we haven't actually
Exactly,
seen any
yeah.
evidence of that yet. So
Yeah. All right.
Well, no, he does. He does sleep when they're on Tatooine on that little stakeout.
Oh, yeah.
that's true.
So
That's true.
So, yeah. You're a Mandalorian who isn't married but technically could, but you can't take your helmet off even if you're alone with your wife. Or a mediocre Jedi who can get married but probably...
Can't get married. I thought it said.
Or, yeah, can't get married but can almost certainly sloppily disappoint a woman.
I'd take the Jedi. Like, I'd still take having the Force over being super skilled Mandalorian.
Because even an adequate mediocre Jedi could probably still take him.
Well, and there's nothing that says here that I can't work hard and become a more
Better.
than adequate Jedi.
yeah,
I mean, aside from past history of my physical capabilities, but
All right.
we run up against the Star Wars version of the if you can be Batman question.
Yeah.
Right. If you can be Batman, be Batman.
well, I'd take being Superman over being Batman. Although,
Because then you
honestly,
can do
no, I
everything.
wouldn't take Superman's powers because that's kind of unsettling. But
All righty.
go read Irredeemable for a nice breakdown of what it would actually be like to have those powers.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to add a little bit to this question because it seems like an easy choice, but then if you think about it,
Okay.
would you rather only speak in Gungan or Wookiee? So initially I'd be like, I don't want to be like Jar Jar, I'll take Wookiee. But very few people would be able to understand you, whereas most people could understand you in Gungan.
But they just hate you all the time.
Well, but that's
Yeah.
the thing is Jar Jar's speech mannerisms, is that actual Gungan?
Yes, all the other Gungans have the same, like, they still
No,
say
but
like
that's the thing.
Misa and whatever.
Yeah, but so that's not them speaking standard with a Gungan accent. That is them speaking Gungan. Gungan is just corrupted standard. It's like Esperanto or something.
we don't hear them saying anything else besides basic.
No, that's true. I'm just curious. I don't know, because I wouldn't call it Gungan. I mean, we do have some instances of, Creoles just being referred to as their own language in our world. So, is Gungan a Creole of standard, or is it?
I think, based on what we've seen, there doesn't appear to be really like Gungan words for things like independent of basic, aside from like a bongo, I
was
guess.
going to say, yeah.
But like generally speaking, even amongst themselves, even to each other, they're still
far as
speaking
we've
the
seen,
same way. So I would think it would be more like Creole, where it's a corruption of Galactic Standard.
Or a deviation from.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, yeah, I would take Gungan.
Because remember, there are less irritating Gungans. Like Captain Tarpals still has
Yeah.
the speech patterns of Jar Jar, but isn't an irritating voice.
See, it's coming down to me a choice of, do you want to be just constantly kind of intimidating or
Yeah.
kind of the laughing stock?
Actually, I probably would still go with Wookiee, yeah. Because I'm just like, how much do I really want to talk to people anyway?
Yeah,
Yay, introverts for the win.
yeah, go on Wookiee.
Okay.
I did that sound for my sons the other night. I was playing with Malcolm got the Chewbacca doll for Christmas. It's like 2 feet tall, and so I was cheering him up because he didn't want to go to bed. And I was like, oh, did you hear that? Chewbacca says he's ready for bed. It's time to go to bed.
Okay.
He wants to know if you're ready for bed.
I'm sure Ross's
And my
wife will
sons were
have
sitting
things
there
to
like,
say
how are
for
you
this next
making that
question.
sound? I was just like, I will never tell.
See, I've never been able to do a Wookiee.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have told them that it's not a trick the It's not something the Jedi would teach them.
They wouldn't have understood that.
Okay. Where are we? Not liking this on my phone. It keeps wanting to go back to the top of the list.
I hate that.
Okay. Yeah, Carrie is definitely going to have some things to say about the three of us after this question. So, and you have to answer, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Chris, yeah.
Great.
Ross, you have to
about,
answer.
He's not worried that I will hesitate.
Would you rather slaughter a room full of 20-ish Padawans ages 4 to 8 years old, or push the button / pull the lever on the Death Star that destroyed Alderaan?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Chris answering.
Well, yeah. I'm just, I honestly, frankly, I just think I'd go with the utilitarian approach. It's 20 kids is a lot fewer than several billion people.
And you have to assume there are a lot of kids on Alderaan.
And
as
yeah,
well.
you're gonna. There is a significant difference in pressing a button and having to, one by one slaughter a bunch of children by hand. But if I had no choice,
you have no choice because this is the.
I can put myself through that in order to save the other, several, dozen billion lives.
Yeah, I think at that point it becomes just a numbers game.
So,
That's always been my thing with the trolley problem, where they're just like, no, the point of this is you can't place value on this human life, and then it's like, so 5 lives and 1 lives, there's no real difference. And it's just like, yeah, there is. 1 is 5 more.
Yeah.
1 is 4 more, actually.
Whatever the value is, there's 5 more.
Yeah.
5 times the value.
Whatever the
here
value
than
of
there is
1
to
life is, there's 5 times of it here, and there's 1 there.
Yeah. So for me, I would choose Alderaan because the face-to-face butchering of children, that's gonna really.
And
But that's what I'm saying
you
is,
up.
it's going to mess me up. I will take that for the the several billion people.
I mean, they have studied this. This is a thing.
So for me, to have it be less personal, you can just look the other way while you press the
Also,
button.
and I think
Kyler wants to run his own Death Star.
Well, no, I'm not running it. I'm literally just the guy who gets to push the button.
That's right.
You're the one in the big black helmet
exactly,
thing.
yeah.
So
with the underbite.
Yeah.
I mean, they have studied this, and I think actually with most people, if I remember the studies right, that is the way it would go.
Yeah.
People will always choose the
absolutely.
worse,
That's why they
less
invented
personal.
gas chambers.
Yeah.
That's why the Holocaust was done that way.
That's a good question, a dark question. I don't know who submitted them because we didn't ask for names for these. I don't think we did anyway. But yeah, a little dark. So Carrie, please don't judge us.
Now that question gets more complicated. If some of those Padawan children are my children, well, don't know.
All right, this one I think will be probably easy. Would you rather ride a Tauntaun or a Blurg? I think just in general, not necessarily into battle.
I'd rather
or
ride a
anything.
Tauntaun.
rather
I
ride
feel
a
like that'd
Tauntaun
be
as
less
well.
of a bow-legged problem for me.
Yeah,
Because those blurgs don't look comfy.
yeah, they're super fat.
But that might give you a better sitting area.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, you're in a saddle either way
Yeah. Blurg, because they're funny.
That's fair.
with their stubby legs, and they can somehow run real fast.
Yeah. You're just a head with feet and a tail.
Gosh, my D&D group is messaging me.
Also, if I'm riding
and
a
every
Tauntaun
time
and it
the
gets
little
cold, I've got a nice warm sleeping
Yeah,
bag.
that's true.
There you go.
And every time the messenger thing pops up, it resets the questions and sends you back to the top. Okay. Would you rather have Jedi mind control that you can never turn off, or Force sense of smell that you can never turn off?
Mind control.
Oh, mind control, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's not.
Yeah.
And what is a force sense of smell anyway?
I don't know. Super smell, I guess. Yeah, no, mind control for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd be
That'd be
fabulously wealthy,
unpleasant.
and I'd have
Yeah.
the biggest Armada collection ever.
where's
No,
that?
no. You want to voluntarily give me that. And then just do it.
Well, and
Isn't
it's
there-
basically you're going to be living as the Purple Man, David Tennant from Jessica Jones.
I was going to say, isn't there a Marvel villain that's his
Yeah,
power?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a character in one of my favorite books that I read this last year was Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I love it. I don't necessarily recommend it to you, Ross. Kylie, you might like it. But it has
Incredibly violent? Is that what it is?
No, it's just dark. It's kind of
It's too dark for your...
you might like. It's
Jedi
not so dark
Paladin.
that you might that you'd be like, oh man, I'm disappointed in my friends for having read this or anything. But yeah, it's. I don't know if it'd appeal to you.
Where does it sit with Rusty Lake?
I just read the next question.
Probably like a small step down from Rusty Lake. So yeah, maybe you'd be all right. Anyway, but there's a character in there who gets basically the purple man's ability and is able to, and she's very bored with life because it's just like there's no one ever opposes her, no one ever contradicts her, no one ever that wouldn't be fun. So I don't know. My wife lives with a super sense of smell and she manages, so maybe I'd be all right.
My mom has a super sense of smell. It's worse for the people around you.
Yes.
So
my wife, my father, both very sensitive noses. My sisters to a certain degree. Me, I got my grandma's nose. I can't smell a thing.
yeah, me too.
So it's nice.
Okay, this next question is making me giggle. Would you rather be a Jedi with a lightsaber that made the Windows startup sound when you turned it on? Every time you pull the blade out, that's the sound it makes. Or would you rather be an X-Wing pilot that had the Nokia ringtone play every time you got a communication? So every time somebody's like, Red 5, I need you, you get that before their message.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'd take the lightsaber because as much of a travesty as it is to mess with the proper sound of a lightsaber, at least it's not potentially life-threatening like having that in battle could be. Like, is it playing over voices? Is it interrupting and delaying every voice? Like, yeah, no. I
would take the lightsaber because that would be hilarious. And definitely throw your enemy off. They'd be like, what is going on? And then you just get into it, kill them. Oh, man. That's a great question. That's my favorite question so far.
What about you, Ross?
That's a tough one.
Ooh.
Also, I find the Windows tone less annoying than the Nokia one.
And I think your lightsaber, when you turn it off, would have to make the shutdown noise.
Absolutely.
And then it gets stuck doing updates, so you got to hold it out. It's just you wouldn't want it to cut anything, so it's doing updates for like an hour.
Once you do that becomes potentially life-threatening, and I probably switch.
I think lightsaber would be less annoying.
Yes.
Okay. Cute question, but an easy answer. Would you rather feed Baby Yoda or have to change his diaper?
Feed.
Yeah.
Feeding's easy.
He's so
just
cute.
Toss him a
frog.
Watch him catch it. Yeah.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love Baby Yoda. And so does my 2-year-old. Every time she is now moved past associating Yoda that she sees on Mandalorian or in the movies to and she knows that's Yoda, and she'll be like, Yoda. And then when she sees Baby Yoda, she'll be like, Yoda, cute. And it's adorable. But I was watching Star Wars Resistance the other day for the upcoming Resistance finale review. We've got to do a Nerf Nugget for that. And
but you also need to do Mandalorian.
I know, we're going to do them both at the same time. Because they're both pretty short seasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, she saw me watching Resistance, which has no Baby Yoda in it, came up, looked at it, and she pointed to my computer, and she's like, Yoda. She now associates just all Star Wars.
She can recognize Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars. That's cool.
So, there we go.
My son, my 6-year-old, has been chastising me and my sister for talking about Rise of Skywalker in front of him because we've been spoiling it. And he's just like, no, with the sequel trilogy in general, he hasn't seen, so we'll be discussing that and other things, and he's just like, I haven't seen those movies, stop it. And I was like, oh, right, I guess you're old enough for that to be a concern now. Not that you're going to watch Rise of Skywalker until you're old enough to understand how bad it is. But
I say he will.
Till he's 18 and you can't stop him anymore.
I'm certainly not going to own it. He's not going to find it in my house.
Yeah. Keep that trash out of this house.
You got all these people.
You're no son of mine.
You got all these people canceling Disney Plus because The Mandalorian's over. I'm going to be canceling Disney Plus once Rise of Skywalker is on there. It's like, no, sorry, not in my household.
Oh man. Gosh. Okay. So, these have got to be from Steven. These next set of questions. So, would you rather stop saying the newsy news or get more gifts from Steven?
Get more gifts from Steven.
Yeah.
Wait. So it's we
so
stop saying the
we
newsy
stop
news.
it and we don't get any more gifts,
right?
Or we
keep
get more
saying
gifts
it
and we
and
keep
get
saying
more
it.
gifts. Obviously, we're going to keep saying it and get gifts from Steven.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I
think
will
it was
warn
the other
you,
way around. Like
I will warn you, Steven, that if Like, Rogue One, you sent me that, and I was like, oh, hey, this is literally the only way I was ever going to get Rogue One. If you send me Rise of Skywalker, it is going in the trash. Like, I'm not keeping it. So, that's wasting your money if you do
He's
that.
very serious.
Yeah, Chris would do it.
He's
just
not
for,
joking.
Yeah.
So, next question. It's a good one. Would you rather be a part of the team to steal the plans to the Death Star? I think either one, Bothan or Rogue One.
Yeah.
Or be a part of the team to arrest Chancellor Palpatine.
Death Star plans.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Easily. There was a bunch of idiots. If I was on that team, maybe some of them would have lived.
But see, and I feel like, going to kidnap the Emperor, or kidnap the Chancellor, quote unquote, would be a cakewalk.
You would think that, but it obviously wasn't.
Maybe. We don't know.
Which Chancellor are we talking about?
mean-
Are we arresting Valorum? I'll do that.
Oh, no, he says Chancellor Palpatine.
Palpatine. But see, I mean, for all we knew, Palpatine just rented a shuttle and took off on his own.
Okay, this one requires some Rebels, I think, Season 2 knowledge. Because you don't know who Admiral Titus is, do you? Brom Titus?
Brom
The
Titus.
Interdictor?
I remember discussing him.
Okay.
And so,
So, would you rather serve under Admiral Titus or Darth Vader?
Vader.
Titus.
Well, I mean, how far under and in what capacity is the
Yeah.
question? Because, like, if I'm immediately under Vader,
Yeah,
I don't have
see,
faith in my ability to stay alive there.
I think anyone within general eyesight of Vader is fair game, so I'm going with
I think
Titus.
probably not the janitor level.
yeah,
I think like
but-
mid-level
Well, I mean,
or
like,
above.
you know,
probably
you
is
got
the
the
intended
Star
question.
Destroyer with its its walkway above the pits there and everything. I don't know. I've never seen anyone get killed by Vader in those pits and stuff.
Yeah.
If I can serve there, then I'll take
Yeah.
Vader.
I think I would also do Vader because Titus is so unbelievably incompetent. It's
He's more
frankly,
likely to get his entire
It's
ship
frankly a
blown up.
miracle like that he actually makes it to season 4. Like
Although,
the end of season 4.
having said that, Vader's ship didn't fare too well in the end either, so who knows.
sure,
Frankly, serving upon
but
an Imperial Star
every
Destroyer
ship,
in the long run is
every
not
single ship Titus is on, or station for that matter, gets destroyed
great. Yeah.
at first
I
contact
would
with
take
Rebels.
Vader. There's at least more
I mean-
competence there for a longer...
Just pay
period of
attention to
time.
the safety briefings so you know where the escape pods are. I mean, come on, it's fine.
A lot of them don't have time though. Like it's
Yeah.
it's legit amazing that he survives
I just
either
know,
his own incompetency or Vader's frustration to season 4.
I just know the rate at which I make mistakes in high pressure situations. I would not last long with Vader.
Ditto.
So-
That's scary, but I feel like if I'm not in his immediate, like, as long as I'm not making too severe of a mistake right in front of him, as long as I'm not Ozzel, I'm okay.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing is we never actually see any of the pit crew make mistakes.
And we're
It's
serving
just-
under them, so like, how far under? Can I be like the escape pod monitor? 'Cause I'll take that job. Either one doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're the escape pod maintenance
Yeah.
technician guy who's you're just
And I have Rose's job, but on an ISD.
Yeah. Alrighty. Final one from who I believe is Steven. Would you rather have, and I believe this would be like the actual in-universe object,
Okay.
but you get to have it here
Okay.
in this universe. Would you rather have a lightsaber or have one of the sweet, sweet sets of Mandalorian armor?
Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, same.
Because I mean,
Less
that would
likely
be
to kill myself.
Yep.
well, and
Or
less
cut off a
likely
vital
to be
part.
killed because that's the Beskar
that's the Beskar.
armor. It's basically going to be bulletproof.
Yep. As long as you don't get punched, you're fine.
Yeah, yeah. Or too near an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
General good safety tip, though.
However, if you're that near an explosion without the armor, you're not going to fare better. So.
That's true. Alrighty. Would you rather be a Wookiee that speaks several hundred languages, but you always have the voice of C-3PO,
Okay.
or a protocol droid that only speaks Wookiee, but with the killing skills of IG-11?
Ooh.
Oh, the protocol droid, obviously.
No, I'd take the Wookiee with the... I mean, you know, contrary to popular belief, I actually don't get around to too much killing, so I feel like...
But if you had those skills,
Maybe
you
you
probably
would
would more.
You could have a very particular
that's
set
not
of skills.
necessarily
right?
something I want.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides, if I'm a Wookiee, I can still tear people's arms out of their sockets if I need to.
That's true. All right, so
And I speak thousands of languages.
that is very true. That'd be really cool. All right,
But I inconveniently apparently can't
calling an audible
interpret
here.
Sith text.
I want you both to give me your best Wookiee impression, but you're the Wookiee that speaks in a 3PO voice.
Oh, yeah, are we... So
Oh.
we're,
How do you do a
Anthony
Wookiee
Daniels
voice?
Wookiee? Man, I can't even do a good Anthony Daniels as it is.
Okay, we can scrap that idea. Yeah. Do it, Ross. That is the worst. I didn't ask for a Jabba being strangled impression. Speaking of Wookiees about to fall on me.
Speaking of lightsabers killing us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you rather be the strongest Ewok or the weakest Wookiee?
Strongest Ewok. I'll take the superlative any day.
So I'm imagining like some super ripped, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, hairy little Ewok. You know, like, you'd get all the Ewok ladies.
A literal Dorito chip proportions
Exactly.
like Chris Evans.
Yeah, exactly.
My name is Ripped W. Ward.
An Ewok that can't put his arms down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can't reach face. Arms too big.
But see, how weak are we talking with the Wookiee? I mean, is
The
he
weakest Wookiee. See, and I'm looking at this not as a relative to the rest of the galaxy, but it's like, if I am an
Yeah.
Ewok, I'm probably living among Ewoks, I will take being the strongest Ewok.
Yeah.
If I am a Wookiee, more dicey there, because we don't, there are a lot of Wookiees
Well, but
living
no,
among
but I
Wookiees,
think
though,
for
so-
the purpose of this, it would be like there is literally no Ewok in the entire galaxy
Yeah.
stronger than you. You are
Yeah.
like literally any Ewok, anywhere, any planet, any circumstances, you are stronger.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Or the inverse would be the Wookiee.
Yeah.
Literally any
You are weaker
Wookiee
than
in
Lumpy.
any circumstances, any Wookiee at all, you are weaker than that Wookiee.
But see, I think the solution would be just to be the weakest Wookiee and still be stronger than any other creature in the
In
galaxy. you
theory,
encounter.
But the weakest Wookiee might still be weaker than a significant number of other people running around in the galaxy.
But you'd still be on the upper end of the galaxy.
Not
Because
I
think about it, you're the weakest Wookiee. So like old invalid, like on their deathbed Wookiees, still could like throw you to the ground. Whereas if you're the strongest Ewok,
I mean, even if assuming we're taking all Wookiees at their most hale that they ever reached, some of them are going to be fairly frail. So you're the most frail Wookiee. There's no guarantee that you're going to be stronger than almost anything else you meet. And hey, if you're the strongest Ewok, maybe you've got the same problem, but at least among your own kind, you're buff.
yeah, yep. All right, this one is
Well, Russ didn't actually answer. He was
true.
just
That is a hard argument to argue against. I guess we'll have to go with the strongest Ewok.
Ewok.
Yes.
Yes,
Plus, you'd be
And
super
you'd be
ripped, but also
adorable.
cute. And
That'd be
Yeah.
adorable.
exactly. And you apparently wouldn't have the same smelling issues, being smelly, as
And you can eat human
Wookiees are.
flesh.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
So you can do that as Wookiee too.
I guess, yeah, if you were the strongest Ewok, you could get all the ladies because you get the ones that like the cuteness and the ones that like the buffness.
That's right.
So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're really the perfect deal.
Yep, there you go. Alrighty, this one comes from Krabok.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was looking through the questions, and he was like, okay, I put one in there. I bet you know one is mine. And I went and looked, and I'm like, oh, yep, found yours. Would you rather wield lightsaber nunchucks or a light whip?
I'd go with the light whip. Like,
I would
Yeah.
do light whip.
yeah.
Safety issues.
Yeah.
Also, because the light whip does not exist. It has been retconned out of existence at the moment, I believe.
For now.
No.
Yep. I pitched an idea
you
for
mean
discussing.
a light whip that like is a lightsaber? It cuts through things, but it's a whip.
Yes.
Okay, because they
That's-
have like the little electro whips and stuff. That's what I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So the light whip in Legends canon, there was
Yeah.
a lightsaber whip.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really dumb.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they do with lightsabers. It's like every possible variation on this. What can we come up with now? And some of them are cool, and some of them are really dumb.
Actually, that would be
It is not currently in the Disney canon.
that would be really hard to. Both of those would be really hard to use. Actually, the nunchucks might be safer, and you just would
Well, I
have
guess
to not
yeah.
use
If you
them like
just don't,
nunchucks.
yeah, if you don't use them as nunchucks, there is that.
Well, and see, I would think the whip wouldn't so much be a danger to you, but to everything around you, because you couldn't let it rest on the ground, which is
Yeah.
a thing you do.
Yeah,
with
but
whips
it
a
could
lot.
still whip. It could still flip
Yeah.
around as you're. Yeah,
I've
I take
whipped
that,
whips
I'm taking
before.
that back, you're
I've been
right.
hit with my own whip before.
Yeah.
Have
Now,
you?
granted,
I've been hit with my own nunchucks before too, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take that back. I'm going to take the nunchucks and just not use them like nunchucks.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be an officer in the Imperial Navy or the Rebellion? Easy question for the both of you. Ross, literally,
Rebellion.
you're hesitating. Come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
Ross.
no, I'll take Rebellion. At least that way, when I die, I know it'll be for a good cause. Like,
Sure.
well, I mean, and specifically because I'm in the rebellion. If I'm in the resistance under Poe, maybe not. But
And see, well, the structure under the Empire, as far as being an officer, is attractive because they have all their, their T's crossed and I's dotted sort of things, which the rebellion won't so much. But I think there's just a lot more individuality in the rebellion. I wouldn't want to be a faceless person that has to wear my hat over my eyes.
There's also a significantly higher possibility if you're in the rebellion of living inexplicably long because you were part of really awesome things. I mean, you could die because you're the red shirt, basically. That could happen, but you're going to die as an Imperial one either way. So
Yeah. All right. Here's a gross one. Would you rather?
Also, the morals and stuff that apply, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you rather sleep in a tauntaun? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yes.
Cut it open, just like episode 5.
Oh, there's another part of that. Okay.
Yeah. Or sleep, quote unquote, next to Jabba. So Princess Leia does have to sleep on Jabba. In this situation, it is assumed that you are Jabba's little slave, which means you are there for his visual pleasure and stimulation. So, sleeping next to Jabba, sleeping in a tauntaun.
I'd go with Jabba. I mean,
I think I'd do tauntaun.
inside of a tauntaun's pretty dang disgusting. I mean, Jabba's disgusting, but I don't feel like he's quite, climbing into the body of another creature disgusting.
Because see,
He actually looks fairly dry for a slug creature.
as long as you stay away from the mouth. Because see, my thing, I just can't do gore. And so, yeah, I would also go with Jabba. Unless I get to be in the same situation as Luke and be basically incoherent at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Or if it is freezing, then I'll go with the tauntaun. But I would rather
or sleep inside Jabba.
I was going to say, I would rather sleep inside a tauntaun than inside Jabba. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Alrighty. A different sort of torture in this question.
Cool.
Would you rather share a cubicle with Salacious Crumb or Jar Jar Binks? Every day you have to go to work. They're your cubicle buddy. They won't stop talking to you.
Oh,
They
that's
just,
clever.
you've got to keep this job. And day after day
Jar Jar.
after day.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so
Right?
I'm sitting here like Jar Jar is at least not malicious like Salacious Crumb is. Like that's a thing, but I'm like at the same time, Salacious Crumb, his maliciousness seems to be mainly focused around watching bad things happen to other people. Like if his focus
And
is
you're
hopefully
already there on
outside our
that.
cubicle. If it's focused outside the cubicle, maybe, and he's going to take up a lot less space in the cubicle.
Yes.
And he's probably not going to interfere with my work.
Or ruin
He
your
is
stuff
less
just by
clumsy.
being
Yeah.
As well.
And see, and my thought is, even if Salacious Crumb is actually actively doing the mischief this time because he just doesn't have anything to watch, I feel like he'd be easy enough to misdirect doing mischief
Yeah.
to someone else in the office.
Yeah. As long as, I mean, is it Salacious Crumb with the flea controlling him, or?
No. On this podcast, that does not exist.
I mean, and hey, if Salacious Crumb starts getting uppity, you can always threaten to spit roast him. So,
It's true.
since that's apparently a
Yes.
thing in this universe.
Yeah.
Get some-
And they're sentient, too. So there was this recent episode of Resistance where there's a Hutt who owns basically a Las Vegas casino in space. It actually reminded me of Tachyon, the new Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Anyway, but his staff are Kowakian monkey lizards and Kowakian monkey or ape lizards. So I'm like, these creatures are sentient enough to perform basic guard and or butler duties, and you're roasting them and eating them in the Mandalorian.
I believe
Wow.
I don't remember I don't know if this is true, but I thought I saw somewhere that there is a range of intellect among Kowakian monkey lizards, and so some of them are animal level and some of them are more intelligent. I don't know if that's canon. Steven, fact check me there, please.
Yeah.
But
Boy, that was our first fact check this episode. Steven, you got off easy.
yeah,
Alrighty.
I think that's the first time I've ever specifically asked him to fact check me.
Yeah. So, would you rather buy some death sticks or go home and rethink your life?
Lindsay, fact check that. Lindsay, fact check that. Is that the first time that
I think you've asked him to fact check
I've
us.
said the fact check before, yeah, but I've never asked him to specifically fact check me. I'm
Something
never
new,
actually
yeah.
serious about it. Usually it's just an offhand joke. I'm
Yeah.
like, let Steven take care of it.
So,
But this time I mean it. Like, I actually want to know.
would you rather buy some death sticks or go home and rethink your life?
I'd go home and
Rethink the
rethink
life.
my life.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's always good to go home and rethink your life.
Yes.
some good meditation, put on some
Yeah.
white noise.
How hard do I have to think about my life?
I'm not sure that this is a real would you rather.
Well, hold on. Before we move on, I feel like any substance that's titled death is always going to be worse than any level of having to rethink your life.
I don't know. I'd take a death note. Not that I have anyone I want to kill, but, options open if you've got a death note.
Don't you have to kill with the death note?
Nope. No, you don't.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather hug a Wookie or kick a droid?
Hug a Wookie.
Kick a droid.
Because,
yeah,
I mean-
hear it's actually really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Be
based on
cuddled by a
based
Wookiee.
on my son's 2-foot tall Wookiee plush. Yeah, it is pretty nice. Hug a Wookie.
I mean, and just kicking a droid is just basically asking for a stub toe. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Ooh. Would you rather rip the ears off a Gundark or kiss a Nerf herder? Probably a scruffy one.
Do I get to pick any Nerf herder? Because, I could go for that.
Yeah, I think the Nerf herder is the better option, just knowing what I know about Gundarks.
Okay.
And my general ability to rip ears off of just
Anything,
about anything
yeah.
other than a cornstalk.
All right. That was a good one. Here's a 3-way for you. Would you rather live
Wow.
in the...
I didn't know we were
Speaking
going to
of-
be getting into these kind of would-you-rathers.
Would you rather live in the age of the Republic, Rebellion, or Resistance? Reference to the current comics that are going on recently.
Republic. Fairly peaceful for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean, until the
Republic
Clone Wars
is-
start, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Even still, it's still, I would think, better living conditions
probably.
up until really the First Order.
I mean, and also, there's a wide range of possibilities in any
Yeah.
of those.
Well, and also...
Am I living during the time of the Resistance on Canto Bight? Like,
I would say...
as a wealthy person on Canto
I
Bight?
would say, in general, your chances of being annihilated by a planet-destroying weapon are significantly less in the Age of the Republic than they
That's
are in
true.
Resistance or Rebellion.
Once those things started popping up like daisies.
Yep. So, I'd go Republic as well. Also, Clone Wars is cool, so,
Also, more Jedi around.
More Jedi.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Good to see
it'd be
that.
so cool. Would you rather die by the Sarlacc pit in the pit of Carcoon,
Yes.
in the Dune Sea, or in the Death Star trash compactor?
Ooh, trash compactor. It'll still be quicker in the long run.
Yeah, but you have less chance to escape.
Do you know?
I mean, I feel like,
They escaped from the trash compactor.
but I feel like with the right
and
tools,
technically, I don't know if canonically
think you
we
have the
currently
right
have any
tools,
instance
Ross.
of anyone escaping the Sarlacc.
Except Boba.
No, is that canon?
Kennedy said, yes, he did get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That
that's
was
still that's one person who has
Until we
survived
see it in
a
movies,
Sarlacc.
though, yeah.
Well, and that's even so. That's one person who has survived a Sarlacc that we know about versus 4 who has survived
Yeah.
a trash compactor. 5 if you count Phasma. So
yeah, but
Well, that's true, Phasma.
there was someone working for them on the outside, though.
nevertheless, that's still 5 people have survived that, and only 1 has survived.
That
a
is
Sarlacc.
true. You are statistically more likely to die in the belly of a Sarlacc pit, where you'll be slowly digested for 1,000 years, than in a trash compactor, where someone could curse their metal body because they weren't fast enough.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, at least in a trash compactor, even if you don't have anyone on the outside working for you, assuming that the trash isn't being compacted right now, you can go and pound on the door. Of course, the Dianoga might get you, but if you can go and pound on the door until hopefully someone wanders by, you got at least that. In the Sarlacc, you don't
I
have
guess.
anything.
I guess it comes down to how long would it take you to suffocate in the Sarlacc, or would you? Is there enough air? I mean, the
I don't
diagrams
know.
I've seen, it seems pretty open.
Yeah, so I'd rather be squished to death than digested to death.
But see, that's the thing is, if you don't suffocate within the whatever 3 minutes it takes, you'd have more opportunity to get out. I'm still going Sarlacc.
Guys, the next set of questions are great. I can't wait to get to them. Are you ready? Are you done?
I think that's Kyler saying, "Hey, let's move on."
Yeah, they're so good. So this next question, when I was reading through these, literally made me like burst a guffaw. And then my wife was like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "Listen, would you whoever put this question in, just well done to you. Would you rather kill the men or the women and children also?" Yeah, would you rather kill just the men or the women and children too? Oh, it's so good.
I guess just the men.
Just the men.
Nah, I thought you'd go with that. I'll kill the women and children, too. I'm an equal opportunity murderer.
Sure.
All right. This one is actually kind of interesting. I'm excited to hear your reasons. Would you rather have Vader's cyborg body or General Grievous's? You don't get the Force. This is just, Ross, you've lost 3 out of
Just
your
the
4
straight
limbs,
body?
and you've been lit on fire. Now you get a cyborg body, and
Yeah.
you're still Ross. Or we remove, like, everything but your basic central nervous system and your eyeballs and then,
Yeah.
like, a couple of other organs, but you're, like, fully
Well, I mean,
robot.
if I don't have the Force, yeah, I think I'd go for
I would go
Grievous.
Grievous. Yeah.
Yeah, way cool.
Yeah.
Because
Lot-
it didn't
lot more
say
capabilities than-
Vader's it just says Vader's cyborg body, so I'm
Yeah.
not including the Force.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, because I mean,
I think you'd look cooler as Vader.
Although,
that's kind of
But
debatable, though.
I would probably ask someone to give my internal organs a better casing than something that can
Yeah.
be pulled open by a
Well, you could.
healthy 30-something-year-old.
Well, he did have the Force.
Even so.
Yeah, it's not a chance
The way
you
that
want to
twangs open, it kind of gives the impression that that's being held together with paper clips and rubber bands.
Yeah.
Oh boy! And Ross, you went Grievous
yeah,
also.
Grievous,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think I would as well.
Especially because, I mean, is it still canon that the Sith armor, the suit he was in, still caused some amount of pain to keep
believe
Vader
so.
I think
actually?
so. Yeah. So, here's another easy one, guys. Would you rather do or do not? Because there is no try. So
Depends on what we're doing or doing not. Watching Rise of Skywalker again? Do not.
I think in generally speaking,
If I'm attempting something, I'd probably rather do it.
yep, me too.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Palpatine and Yoda actually got along better than they thought.
That's true.
Do it. There is no try.
Okay. This is a long one, but I think it's interesting. Would you rather have robot legs with the dexterity and strength of C-3PO's legs,
Okay.
or have robot arms, legs, partial torso, spine, with the full, even slightly enhanced dexterity and strength, but have to wear a breathing apparatus like Darth Vader? So basically, you have Darth Vader's robot parts, but you do have to always have the breathing apparatus or you die. Or you're normal you, but you have 3PO's legs. And
I'd
I
take
think I know who
3PO's
put
legs
this
and
one.
hope I can get an upgrade later.
that's true.
I'd rather be more man than machine.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'd rather go Vader, actually. Go the
Rather
Vader
be
route.
more machine than man.
Yeah.
Twisted and evil.
Okay, this is interesting. Would you rather
Which
be...
which one would you rather have on that?
Me? Yeah, probably the same thing. I'll take C-3PO's legs. I'm not terribly athletic anyway. Would you rather be the wealthiest man on Coruscant but be permanently exiled to Tatooine? No leaving the planet. Like, no exceptions.
But I
Can't
have my
leave.
wealth with me.
But you are presumably still
Yeah.
the wealthiest man on Coruscant. So,
Okay.
and you can presumably access that wealth.
funds. Yeah.
Or the poorest man on Jakku, but you get a 2-week, all expenses paid, first-class vacation anywhere in the galaxy twice a year.
I'd rather be the wealthiest man, but then put on Tatooine, because there's got to be a space Amazon. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd go for Jakku.
Yeah.
I'm dirt poor, but I get a 2 weeks all expense paid vacation
Yeah,
and everything,
to
which
anywhere.
is better than I currently have. And
You get it twice a year.
yeah, right now I've got the dirt poor, but without the vacation. So I mean, obviously that's way more dirt poor than I am, but still. But being the wealthiest man on Coruscant, exiled to Tatooine, is good for you about as long as it takes for the Hutts to catch up to you.
Yeah, that is
fair.
fair.
Yep.
Especially because your only option for survival is to become a rival crime lord with your
Also,
own personal
do I
army
get a
to
plus
protect
one
you.
on that vacation?
I would think so.
Yeah, I would assume so. So in that case, now I've got people on Jakku currying for my favor to get to be my plus one instead of trying to murder me to take all my men.
True.
Because if they kill me,
Now
then
you're
there's
the king of
no
Jakku.
There's no advantage to killing me on Jakku. Then no one gets the vacation, presumably.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving it
yeah,
to my murderer.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not Ron Swanson.
I haven't read this one before.
This is going to be really disappointing.
Props to you guys, whoever put this in. Would you rather be able to use the Force FaceTime power that we see in Episode 8 with anyone, anytime, but you always had to have your shirt off at the beginning of the call? Or have maximum ability with Force telekinesis, but it only works while you hum It's a Small World After All?
I mean...
So you can, pull Star Destroyers out of the sky, a la Force Unleashed, but you gotta be humming It's a Small World After All. Or literally talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Fear the small world.
I would go humming Small World because I'm assuming I could learn a minor key version of It's a Small World.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And just go total creep factor. Yeah.
See, because I'm immature, I would take the shirtless FaceTime power because I could infinitely bother Ross.
See, that one, I'm tempted by that one, but I'm like, man...
My shirt off.
Well, that's the thing.
Ross's anniversary.
Hey, buddy,
so what you doing?
You can FaceTime with anyone. They don't have any power over it. That's awkward.
That's
I don't want.
bad.
I don't want to catch people in certain.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have the ability because I'll abuse it. I would inevitably abuse that.
No, 3...
Not that I wouldn't abuse the telekinesis, but you know.
You know what? And if you used it like you've used some of your phone calls and texts to me,
I would absolutely.
I would eventually murder you.
At least if I'm abusing the telekinesis, no one can stand before me.
Yeah.
This...
Because see, at least with my phone and him texting and calling, I can put it on, night mode or whatever it's called, the silent mode, and he can't get through.
True.
Yeah.
If that's the case, though, and I couldn't stop it, yeah, you would have to die.
So, this next question is actually pretty cool and kind of terrifying and frightening in either case. Would you rather be a Wookiee raised by Ewoks or an Ewok raised by Wookiees?
Wookiee raised by Ewoks. I think that'd be freaking terrifying.
Yes. Ramp up the murder hobo. We legit eat people regularly, and now we've raised a Wookiee.
Is it still canon that Wookiees have claws that they just don't use because it's not a reputable thing?
We have seen Chewie's hands in Force Awakens, and they're basically larger people hands.
Fair.
And
But I thought the thing was that they had the retractable claws.
Yeah, they had retractable Wolverine claws or whatever that. In the old canon, they had these claws.
I don't know about new canon.
And they could use
Steven,
them for
fact check us.
tools and such, for various working, but they didn't use them in fighting because that was very dishonorable. But they'd use them to climb trees on Kashyyyk and stuff. And I'm just picturing a Wookiee that has been raised in a society that wasn't going to teach him not to use those claws in combat.
Well, I'm just thinking...
But I'm
I
thinking
think
of
society...
Black Kirsten. I don't feel like is the kind of guy that would be concerned about that, and we never see him use them that I can think of. So
And I think the Ewoks would still give you a strong enough moral center you wouldn't.
maybe are they that moral?
A moral
Well, with
center
each other.
for your own tribe,
Yeah.
but for their enemies to be like, okay, giant, go get
just
him.
picture the Battle of Endor with that Wookiee there. Ugh, yikes.
Yeah.
But no, I'd still take being that.
Yeah, I would go definitely Wookiee raised by Ewoks.
Yeah.
Wookiee raised by adorable little murder hobos.
Would you rather be partially digested by a sarlacc to within an inch of your life and then get pulled back up through the rows of teeth and getting scratched up and stuff, but you live to tell the tale, or crawl through 3 miles of the Death Star sewage pipes to escape prison?
Prison. Yeah. I can take the sewage.
Yeah.
Andy Dufresne can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'd rather do the sarlacc. I know I'm gonna come out the other side. I'd rather do that.
Okay, but coming out of the Sarlacc within an inch of your life is going to hurt. Whereas crawling through the Death Star sewage is just going to be real gross.
Think of all the poop.
Nigh
Poop,
unto
Ross.
death. Yeah.
The poop.
I am a father. I have dealt with so much poop. I can deal with poop.
I don't like poop. My wife deals with the poop.
You should have
And
seen...
because it's the Death Star and the Empire are enormous xenophobes, I know that I just have to deal with regular people poop.
Yep.
And a Dianoga, potentially.
Dianoga poop.
Well, and the Dianoga itself, potentially.
Yes.
I mean, it's getting around somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there is
definitely
that.
You'd probably end up with Dianoga eggs in you, like a ringworm. Ugh.
I mean, I will acknowledge that the Sarlacc guarantee of living through it is appealing. But,
Okay, I think I know which one you guys are going to pick. Would you rather be a stormtrooper with perfect aim, but weak armor, or have invincible armor, but unable to hit the broadside of a sandcrawler from 10 paces?
Oh, the invincible armor.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know you'll go with that. Survivability.
I don't know.
You would have perfect aim, though, so you might be able to take anybody down before they can
Well,
shoot
Steven,
you.
no, I'd still go for the invincible armor because I feel like if I was a stormtrooper with perfect aim, all the other stormtroopers are going to turn against me and club me to death in my sleep out of envy. Or I could be the stormtrooper with perfect aim, which obviously means that I'm destined to defect and become a rebel because
Well, would
can't be a
would they get
stormtrooper.
jealous, or would they always want to be next to you? Because their survivability would be higher. Maybe.
yeah.
Because I think if you were the one stormtrooper with that, you
You know what? No, I'm changing my answer. I'd go with perfect aim.
Okay.
There are enough things that can kill you in Star Wars without your
Without
armor.
armor.
Being a factor. Like Vader decides you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, that's true.
But if
Armor's not
if
gonna
I
save
am
you.
a perfect sniper, perfect shot, Vader's probably going to want me alive.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. We have another submission from Steven. And because I didn't proofread these, we get this question again. He said, I think I messed up the phrasing the last time I did this, so here we go again. Would you rather stop saying the newsy news or get more gifts from Steven?
there it is. There it is.
That's
There
what I
it is.
assumed it meant. Yeah, you stop saying the newsy news,
And you get
And you
gifts.
don't get any
Or yeah,
gifts.
you get no gifts.
or you keep saying newsy news, and you
No.
And you
I
get
think it's the
gifts.
other way around.
No. It's because the gifts are a punishment for saying newsy news.
Oh.
So you're saying newsy news, and you get gifts, or you get gifts, or you
Steven.
don't. You stop saying newsy news, and you don't
Don't.
get gifts.
Steven, I'm begging you.
And yeah, so we got it right. I was saying it right before.
Terrible.
It's and yeah, no, we'll keep saying newsy news.
Stephen overestimates the badness of his gifts.
It's true. And let's be honest. The last gifts caused me to start saying newsy news. More gifts aren't going to frighten me away from that.
It's terrible. Okay. Would you rather go on an adventure with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, or Han, Luke, and Leia, or Rey, Finn, and Poe?
It was Ahsoka and who?
Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka. So the A-team from the prequels. Han, Luke, Leia, A-team from the original trilogy, or
The
Rey,
18
Finn,
from
and
the
Poe.
Clone Wars in that first one.
Yeah.
Ahsoka wasn't in the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant eras, Clone Wars
Yes,
era.
yeah. So yeah, which trio would you want to go on an adventure with?
I think I'd go prequel.
So
Obi-Wan,
my-
Ahsoka, Anakin.
Definitely not sequels. My first thought was original trilogy.
You don't want to go on an adventure with Poe Dameron,
Oh,
Oscar Isaacs,
Very true.
and you know he'd be up for it.
He did come in an interview saying he would have been down with a
The
Finn Poe
Mhm.
bromance going on.
Oh no, yeah, that's pretty clear what he's been gunning for the whole time.
Do I get to look more handsome than I am in real life? I think
I
I'd have
don't
to.
know.
I'd have to.
See,
meet
there are a
certain
lot of
level
other
hotness
factors,
to
but I
gain
think
his
we have to
attraction.
assume that we are us.
Okay.
Well, and if your adventure took long enough, maybe he would get the deep space goggles, and it wouldn't matter.
Okay, I'm changing my answer.
Plus,
I was going to say
Finn
prequels.
Finn is going to spend the entire time pining after Rey, so you get to be the consolidation prize.
It's true. So I was going to say prequels because prequel, like Clone Wars, Obi-Wan, like Jat, Obi-Wan, Sass. Oh, that would be just chef kiss.
Yeah.
You know? Awesome.
That's fair.
But Chris has convinced me. Poe Dameron. Be like, wow. Just, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think I would actually go with prequels though. Yeah, I think I would go with. I mean, Anakin is the whole like, oh well, you're gonna turn to the dark side, so maybe I can warn Obi-Wan and Ahsoka though. Head that off, and then Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are fun.
Yeah.
It's true.
Whereas with the originals,
Just go up to Anakin and be like, listen, you don't actually need to turn to the dark side. Apparently there's a force healing thing that's a light side power. Just use that on
just
her.
figure that out.
Or just don't choke your wife.
Yeah.
And everything will be fine.
Yep. Oh, also that Chancellor Palpatine, that's Sith Lord.
Totally a Sith
Bad
Lord.
dude.
Bad dude.
No, yeah, I feel like with the originals, like it depends on what stage of whininess Luke is in. But I gotta be honest, as much as I love Han, I do feel like actually dealing with Han face to face on a day-to-day basis would be rather straining.
You can sympathize with Leia's exasperation.
Yeah, though the sequel trio is also fun. Like I could see that.
Okay.
Although I feel like if I was in the sequel trio, I'd just be giving them crap about leaving Rose out all the time.
I think we know the answer to this one. Would you rather have a droid companion that's constantly going on about droid rights, or have an erratic OCD droid companion?
Droid rights.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I'd rather
Yeah.
have 3PO for sure.
Yeah.
I'd rather have OCD for sure.
Yeah. OCD's
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He's a droid that doesn't get tired. And so if his OCD is really that bad, you just give him free reign to do as much cleaning as he wants.
Oh, that's nice. That's fair. But all the same,
That's
I
true.
mean,
You would have a spotless house.
Yeah.
L3 was not
And he
wrong.
would
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, but see, the
And
L3
he
wasn't
could
wrong.
cook.
Like,
It's true.
droids get the short end of the stick there. Like, I don't necessarily disagree
But see,
with
actually,
her,
yeah, here, this is the debate. Do you want to have someone who is, supporting droids' rights, or someone who doesn't care that you get to abuse his OCD?
I'd rather have L3.
I'd rather go 3PO. As much fun as L3 would be to just kind of hang out with, the more sass, I like the sass, 3PO would be more useful.
Plus, apparently with L3s, there's an option for friends with benefits. I mean, you don't get that with 3PO.
He would be shocked.
It just wouldn't be proper.
No, it would not. Okay. Would you rather have to tell the seagulls to stop it now? Stop it now. Or would you rather have to go look in the bushes of love? Bushes of love. Every day I worry all day. That was waiting in the bushes of love. Bushes of love. I love both of these songs. So I showed these to my kids the other day, and I kid you not, the next day I wake up, get in the shower in the morning, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's waiting in the bushes of love. Got it stuck in my head.
When Dean first sat down and watched Empire Strikes Back with me, we got to the Yoda scenes, and he was like, "This is from that Seagulls video."
Yes, it is. Yoda is from the Seagull video. Seagulls for sure.
No, I would if we were actually talking about seagulls poking my head and poking my knees, or just investigating some bushes of love.
No, but there's a terrifying duck lady creature thing waiting in the bushes of love that'll eat your face.
That's true. I guess I'll go with seagulls. Yeah.
I can handle seagulls.
And then you can find a log that had a baby.
Yeah.
So.
And find a happy sack, apparently.
Songs are great. Yeah, no kidding.
Who knows where it came from?
And you have a cool stick. Oh, man. Oh, this is so great. Oh, and there's... Hold on, I gotta look up one more video now. Would you rather have, you're in the Star Wars universe and every blaster actually says, pew, pew, pew? Or would you rather have every lightsaber go like this?
the Owen Wilson wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow. I'd take pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Can you imagine all the lightsaber fights? Wow, 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 wow,
I would take the wows, yeah.
I would take the pews. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew.
The pew would be more fun, I think. But dang it if that's not funny. There are some great YouTube videos of the Owen Wilson wow for that. They're so great. Oh, boy. Okay. And the last question is for Chris specifically.
Oh.
This question, remember, these questions were submitted before Rise of Skywalker came out. So we hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, my.
Yes. And we already know the answer. We can all say it together. For Chris, would you rather watch Rogue One or Rise of Skywalker? On 3, boys. 1, 2, 3. Rogue One.
Yeah.
I think that answer goes equally for all of us.
Let me amend that question. Would you rather watch Rise of Skywalker or the Holiday Special? Holiday Special.
Wow.
Yeah, they're both equally cringy and painful, but at least Holiday Special is shorter.
That is true. Oh, boy. Well, that was the end of our really awesome and more fun than I anticipated. Would you rather? Submitted and brought to you by you, the listeners. So thank you so much for that. As usual, you should follow us on Twitter, where I am doing my very best to restrain myself in the snark regarding Rise of Skywalker and most days doing okay, some days not doing well at all. And that would be at More Civilized on Twitter. And join the Facebook group, A More Civilized Podcast, where there are plenty of excellent memes still going on. The Great Meme War continues.
Such as my favorites from this week, coming to us all the way from Mr. Stephen Boswell. He did a set of memes that he had created, and my favorite was the last one. It was a picture of someone standing out in the desert, setting up for the Area 51 raid.
Oh yeah.
So Kyler standing in front, looking kind of annoyed. Oh yeah, and then me in the back with
the reporter with the Naruto run guy.
Yeah, the ninja run, Naruto run in the background. Ross with the Newsy News.
Yes,
totally
exactly how it is.
That's how it is.
I also wanted to shout out to whoever, like, we kind of joked about this in the last episode, but, like, based on the downloads I'm seeing, we legit actually have, like, a new listener in Spain. So, like, bienvenido!
Yeah. Welcome.
I don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry.
We're going to assume that person speaks English, so...
Spero che parla italiano, perché se parla italiano,
not, I don't
mi
know what they're
capisci?
using our podcast for.
Yeah.
You just need noise just in the background.
But,
It's actually an interrogation officer in Spain that's playing our podcast to torment the prisoners.
And Ireland and UK as well. Canada showed up again. So, there you go.
Cool.
Yep.
You can also continue to talk with me on Twitter, where you won't get the Rise of Skywalker hate. Not saying I liked it. I just don't spread the hate.
Yep.
You can find me at Random Paladin.
Yep. You can find me at Itinerant Baxter on Twitter, where my newsfeed is about 99% bagging on Rise of Skywalker. Mostly it's just pointing out the things it did badly, which are all like... I was like, I don't feel like it's hating on Rise of Skywalker. It's just pointing out that, man, this movie sucked in new and creative ways. And
again, may the Force be with you.
Always.
I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to a More Civilized Podcast.
Puckle the Lesser.
We got a visit. Hey.
How are you, Carrie? You're like that one wife coming after the kid in the CNN video. Crawling in here on your hands and knees, trying not to be seen. Finally got to the period that the game is set in. So I've been really like, oh, I've seen this name in the game. Okay, pay attention, Kyler. Like, who is this dude? What's he about? You know?
yeah.
And so there's this warlord who kills the last Han Emperor.
Okay.
Well, kind of. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. And his name was Dong Zhuo. And he's apparently fat, which I love it when histories give us little tidbits like that. Yeah. He was a corpulent man. But a brilliant strategist and warrior, competent general and things like that. And just brutal. And so once he did one of those like, oh, no, Emperor, I'm totally going to just protect you and help you rule. One of those kind of things. And then finally just decided, hey, enough of the charade. Let's off the kid. And so to keep everyone in line and to remind them of who was in charge, he would, when somebody pissed him off enough that he decided they needed to die, which was apparently somewhat regular, he would first start by having their tongue cut out to lessen their screaming so as not to disrupt the further torture, because all of this would happen at dinner time in front of the dinner guests in the middle of the banquet hall.
Lovely.
So remove the tongue, then they'd carve their eyes out, and then cut their lips and their nose off. Then they would cut their limbs off one at a time, and apparently the torturers were really good at keeping you alive for this whole process. Rarely did they lose somebody before the grand finale. Wow. And the grand finale was they take your stumpy, limbless body and dump you in a giant copper pot of boiling oil and literally make a fried person out of you.
Fried torso.
Yep, and when you were done cooking, they would fish your body out and roll it back and forth in front of all the dinner guests to remind them of the consequences of displeasing Dong Zhuo.
Well then.
Yeah.
Wow.
As you might imagine, this made him slightly unpopular. So much so that his bodyguards decided, maybe we ought to just put an end to this.
His bodyguards?
His own bodyguards, yes.
Wow.
So the guy who drew the short straw and had to take the first stab at him, literally, Like they come to his bedroom door and are like, "Oh, Dong Zhuo, hey, we got this really important thing to tell you." And he's like, oh, okay, what is it? He opens the door, and the guy's like, surprise, stabs him right in the chest. But because he's so fat, it doesn't kill him right away. And he's like, whoa, captain of the bodyguard, come here and save me. This guy's a traitor. So captain of the bodyguard shows up, who also happens to be his own son. And he's like, oh, you're not dead? Allow me to fix that. Pulls out his knife and plunges it straight in, makes sure the job is done, kills his own dad. How awesome is that? History's so great.
Wow.
There's a story for the outro, Ross.
Yeah.